Mr. Ken, how you doing?
Fantastic. Good to be here again. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Working from home. I have a couple dogs in the background. I might need to hit the mute button, but let's
Hey,
go. Let's get
hey,
into this.
we'll get through it. I love the image that you put on the header for the meeting today. Boy, you can go find just about any information you want to find right now to say, oh my God, hedge inflation, buy a house now. You can find information that says, hey, wait 12 to 24 months, values are going to drop. And man, what a difficult time to understand what you should be doing.
Totally agree. Everything that you read today, if you read it 6 months ago, they wouldn't have predicted that we're in the spot that we're in right now. So you got to take everything that you're reading today with a little bit of a grain of salt. Not everybody, it's like the weatherman. Not everybody's always right when it comes to the weather, right?
So what we're learning is these experts in the field, whatever field that may be, they're really, really good at looking back the last 6 to 12 months and explaining how it happened. The people that we follow, they've been not so good about what's coming the next 3 to 6 months. Back to your point of when they check out. If we go back and read what they were saying in a previous, we'll call it previous life now.
Well, let's get right into, okay, so last 18 months, 35, 40% home appreciation. Don't care about that for the moment. I want to talk about the next 3, 6, 12, 18 months for people out there who are deciding, do I put my home on the market? You might have a nice low fixed rate, but do I put my home on the market, move up, move down, or relocate? Or B, do I sign another lease with rising rent prices? So we got a lot of people trying to make decisions right now, and a little bit of a purgatory, right?
Yes. So the easiest category is those that may be thinking of selling, but already have a second residence or they know where they're going. That's an easy answer, right? Meaning if you know where you're going and it's already locked in, yes, sell. It's a perfect time to do so. However, if that move or that sale, now you've got to go find another place, that's that tricky spot for sure.
Oh, knowing where you're going.
Yeah, making good time, just not sure where we're going.
All right, so let's talk about the first-time home buyers. This is our, these are the folks that need the most help, right? And they're trying to figure out, where am I going? What am I doing? Am I staying in the city I am in right now? Am I relocating? I'm gonna leave the hometown and finally venture out away from mom and dad to a different city, possibly. So we've talking to a lot of people about identify 1, 2, or 3 places that you want to be. And we want you to start actively looking at that market to get yourself comfortable with what's going on with pricing in that particular environment, because for the most part, nationally, we're kind of all trending together, but there are micro pockets. Hyper local is the word that you keep hearing
For sure.
for these different markets. Thoughts on that?
No, you nailed it. That part of paying attention to the marketplace, you get a feel for, are there more homes coming on the market? Are they not coming on at a very fast pace? You get a sense of, are there price reductions? So you kind of have an idea of what sort of a frenzy you're getting into. I know as inventory goes up, the buyer is going to have either more time to be selective, more options to pick from, or maybe some negotiating power where it's not just going in over asking price. So the inventory levels are critical for everything. And again, if there's not a lot of stuff going on in the market and you have to make a decision quickly, then maybe shift toward the rent side. Again, I don't think that time is going to be a negative thing if somebody needed to wait.
I agree.
So,
I,
but
I totally agree. Having more options is a better thing. Having more time is a better thing. Now we have the negative component is the inflated values with the inflated rates makes it difficult to go. Here's the question, right? What if it drops 5%, 10% over the next 6 to 18 months when I'm looking to buy? We are hearing from the economists that if we get out to the end of this year and even into next year, so let's say we're at the end of 2023 right now, a year and a half from now, they believe that home values are still going to be up 3 or 4% from where we are right now, which is up 35 to 40% over the last 18 months.
so that's coming from the part that it has to be the demographic study that says there are a truckload of people that need to form households because of those people in the 28 to 33 age bracket, and that's the sweet spot for first-time home buyers. So that has to be where that's coming from. However, we have the institutional or the companies that have been buying housing that, again, depending on where you're at, that's been anywhere from 25 to 45% of the consumption. So if that slows down a little, then maybe there's still room for buyers to increase and property values to mellow out and still provide an environment that's conducive to being able to buy, because it's so discouraging at times.
I feel personally, based on what you and I feel at the ground level, is that prices will be coming down over the next 18 months. That's just a personal opinion based on who we're talking to, what we're talking about, and what we see in the markets that we serve. It's hard for me to believe that that appreciation is going to be able to keep up for the next 18 months. That means continued food fights for housing. We're just not seeing that right now. Now, you got to remember, guys, where we're at. We're just before 4th of July. We got through the first big holiday. We got 4th of July. We got Labor Day. We have school starting. And then we're going to get into the holiday season at the end of the year. So we're going to have some of this over the next 2 or 3 months till we get to about October, November. Then we're going to really see who's in this market and who's not in this market. But right now there's pockets of opportunity for some folks to, and I'm not advocating run out and buy a house right now at all. What I'm advocating is run out and identify 3 spots that you want to buy, and let's start talking. Let's get the discussions up on deck and start running numbers for you to help you make, there's one of my dogs, excuse me, make good decisions. I'm going to hit mute for a second.
Yeah, and there are folks that need to buy, maybe families expanding, and that now is the time to make this work because it's feeling like it's needed for the household. It doesn't mean now is a bad time to buy. What it does mean is make sure that you're incredibly cautious and you're doing your research, and just try to keep emotions in check and make fact-filled decisions, which is what you've said twice now.
There's a listing here locally that has had 2 offers in the last, since Friday, so 6 days, and they both backed out after a day, like woke up and changed their mind the next morning. That's happening a lot right now. That's on existing inventory. New construction, whole different animal. We could talk about this for a whole nother hour, but we are seeing new construction price reductions. Imagine this, you signed 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 12 months ago, and now the new homes that are coming to the market, they're bringing them in lower than what you paid for 12 months ago. And you're like, what gives? Well, those people are walking away. Some of them, not to mention some of them can't qualify now and they have to walk away. So those homes are coming to market.
Yeah, everything that we're seeing is that every week or month that goes by, the factors for somebody buying a home are improving. More inventory means more options. You don't have to feel like you're settling. More inventory should mean that prices, the rate of the price increases is going to flatten out. Obviously, if this pendulum swings to the other side, there is a chance that property values could correct. Again, that's where there's pockets in.
Have you heard the word appraisal gap in the last 2 weeks?
No. I mean, I've heard it referenced, but it is not even anywhere close to the buzzword or the requirement that it was before.
Are you hearing multiple cash offers, 10, 20, 30 offers on these listings?
No, I've not heard cash offer in 3 weeks in the folks that we're talking to as far as what they're competing with.
So this
Multiple
data
offers,
is,
yes.
sorry.
No, you're good. Multiple offers, that's still going on. But again, you're at like 2 or 3 compared to when we were talking double digits 4 or 5 months ago.
All right, so we're at a 22-year low in mortgage demand right now. 22 years. My oldest daughter is 22, right? Going to be 23 in November. You're right there too. She's 23 next May. There's that little inventory and that many people that have been priced out in the last 3 months. About 25% of the market's been priced out in the last 3 months. There's nothing they can do. They can't apply for a mortgage. They can't get one. So those applications just aren't happening. They want to buy a home. They can't. So they have to wait in line and improve. They got to do some debt consolidation, paying stuff down, reconfiguring budgets, possibly taking new positions, begging mom and dad to help in some capacity. So we're working with a slew of those people as well. So there's so many people on the sidelines. The demand is still very, very, very heavy. Whether they can accomplish that goal here in the next 6 months or not, that's a different story.
Totally. So inventory should bring prices down. But back to your point, the part that can keep prices somewhat sustained is this immense demand that has sort of been subdued for a while. Some of its qualifications, a big part of it is it's just hard. It has been incredibly difficult to buy a home in the last year and a half. Those factors are now shifting. Smaller down payments are now being considered. FHA loans are now being considered. Contingent offers are now being considered. All 3 of those, you would have been laughed out of the room if you had said any of those 3 things 3 to 4 months ago. So that's all good. So
that the 22-year-old daughter that I'm talking about, it's time. It's time to enter this journey into home ownership, and these discussions are taking place right now.
So I'll put you on the spot. Okay. Why is it time for her to enter into that? What give us
job, credit's good, job's good, budget's good, savings are good. So we're solid there. Get comfortable for a couple years.
So she knows where she's going to be for the next 2 to 4 years, right?
And whether it's even 12 to 24 months, I'm okay with it. You can always sell the property if you have to, or turn it into a rental. So I'm fine with that. Making sure she's okay with that as well. Of this isn't a big deal. You are buying a first-time home. You are buying in that 275 to 325 range.
So the criteria is make sure the roof doesn't fall in when you shut the door and you feel safe walking to your car. That's the end of the search criteria, right?
Yeah, better than that to me is better than renting right now. So I'm not worried about a 10%, 15% haircut in values because she understands what it means. Meaning rent that she can receive on that property is going to take care of that end of it. She's paying down her principal balance a little bit. Can always refinance when the rates come down.
That paying down the principal balance, that's totally underestimated. Again, if it's in that $300,000 range, you got $250 to $275 a month. That's a balance transfer. You're taking it from checking. You're paying down the mortgage. So that's $4,000 a year ish, 3,600 to 4,000. That just keeps accumulating or enhancing the equity position. That's a huge point.
So this demographic is easier than the move up demographic right now because they're sitting, chances are, in a mortgage rate under 3.5%. So there's a shock to the system to go from 2.5%, 3.5% on 400 grand to 5, and you're going up in value. So if you understand how the numbers look and work for you, it's not as intimidating. But if you're going to listen to all the drums being beat on Twitter or whatever else you're following, you're going to be scared because they make it scary.
Yeah, we've touched on this before, right? The whole part of rates are cyclical. So when you buy a house, you can't go back and change the purchase price. But as time goes on, you can accumulate more equity and you can take advantage of lower rates when they cycle back around. It's also important to understand that, meaning it can't guarantee it's going to be 6 months from now. You can't guarantee it's going to be 2 years. But, from today's rates to a possible 1% drop in rate, for many folks, that's $350 to $450 improvement in the payment that you have the ability to improve down the road when interest rates cycle. So those are some of the things that we're talking to people about. The equity, the paying down the principal is real money. The fact that you are going to have an opportunity to refinance, whether that's 1 to 4 years from now, to get back some of that savings, those are real considerations. But again, those are secondary from, is it time to move? Yes, I have to move. Am I confident? Can I afford it? Have I done my homework? Then move forward.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that 22 years ago, early 2000, 30-year rates hit 8.75. Well, you know what? The values weren't averaging 450 grand. They were more like 200.
Yes, it was like 185 to 200,000.
Yeah.
Right.
So this 5 at 450, it's tough. It's tough on you mentally, but you have to. It all starts with credit. Got to have it. Got to pay your bills on time. A budget. Stick to it. Spend less than you make. Save money. Once you do that, it's time to continue to move towards making something happen. It's really tough on the folks that every 10 months they have to look at renewing their lease, and
it's
they
exhausting.
they explore all these options. 10 months goes like that.
I like the way that you described that about your daughter. It's the priority, right? Or I've got the job, I've got the credit, I got a few bucks saved up, and I know where I'm going to be for a little while. Do you really want to go through that annual renewal of where am I going to live?
No.
And it's
she hates
awful.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, sooner get settled in and you got to pack up again.
Well, I mean, you spend the last 2 years in college. So she went dorm, a sorority house, apartment. Now she's a year out apartment. Now we're into the second year after graduating. Dude, that'd be 4 years of jumping. You're exhausted.
Yeah, and now you got to pay.
Exhausted.
Well, and for kids in that age bracket, you got to pay attention to your career. So that distraction of trying to figure out where you're going to move, I mean, that comes at a cost to being able to put your main focus on learning your job and figuring out how to advance that path. So, man, that's well said.
All right. So we hope some of this stuff is helpful. We'll continue to. This was not a highly scripted out session, kind of off the cuff. But we understand the fear out there. We understand that home values go up, they go down, rates go up, they go down. And right now we're in one of those spots in the cycle where when you go to the gas tank, whether it's once a week or twice a week, it feels like you're just getting kidney punched. So
true. And this is I'll add this in. The thing that we've now started to share with people is, hey, let's look at what normal appreciation looks like. Let's look at if values totally flatten out. let's look at what happens if values go down 10%, just to be able to share that whole spectrum instead of just saying it's good news, Charlie, you can't
Right.
lose if you buy a house. Let's share some of that information to get that so that yes, so that you can take that for what it's worth and be fully
Screw it
informed.
on, right,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So well said. Like, let's look at it right now as if it was 10% down, a reduction. So you bought it, but it's going to be worth 10% less in 6 months or 12
How
months.
long does it take you to get back to flush or to square? And then how long does it take you to gain equity? Do you understand what your options are if you had to lease the property? And all of that stuff comes back to the budget, which is not only when you buy the home, can you afford it, but you got to make sure that you're still saving money even after you buy that new place. So I'm looping, but
Awesome.
yes, that we're talking about a lot of that stuff. So if any of that's relevant or we can share it.
Guys, thank you for tuning in. All of our content goes up on our YouTube channel. Just search First Commerce Financial on YouTube and subscribe. Smash that button. So when you can see all of our content that we drop. Thanks, Ken. Great job.
Ditto, bro. Talk to you soon. See ya.